Hey, church, back with you again. Have another devotion for you today. During my recent vacation, our family played a game that is the version of the reality show, The Amazing Race. Remember that? Teams go out and they have instructions and clues that they have to follow. Kudos to my daughter, Hannah. She's the one that is the brain behind this and came up with this fabulous game. We had a lot of fun with it. So our family was divided into 3 teams, and we were given instructions that required us to travel around the area where we were staying on vacation in Michigan. So first stop was a little convenience store just not too far from where we were at. And one of us had to eat ice cream. That went to my granddaughter, Isley, who was on my team. Second stop, our instructions took us to the closest town, Gladwin, Michigan, and we had to go and find the local historical museum. And on the premises there is a pioneer church, and we were supposed to count how many benches we could see inside the church building. Our third project or set of instructions took us to the local city park. And we were supposed to kind of meander along the river to the old watering hole. And we would find a rope swing. Yeah, one of those old-fashioned rope swings. And one of our team members was going to have to grab a hold, swing into the water, let go, fall in, and we had to record it on a smartphone. Well, my team was made up of me, my granddaughter, Isley, and my son, Jonah. And when we got there to the watering hole and to the rope swing, I sensed a hesitancy on the part of my son, Jonah, and Isley about wanting to, do the swing. And I confess I'm very competitive and I want to win. So, all right, if you guys aren't interested, I'm going to do it. So it was going to be me that was going to jump on or hang on to the swing and jump into the river. But I was a little unsure about some things. And so there were a bunch of kids there that were playing on the rope and swinging in, jumping into the river. And so I before I jumped in, I had some questions. So I asked them, I said to the kids, I said, all right, how deep is the water, the area out there in the river where in the water that you're going to jump into? I mean, is it shallow? Is it deep? How deep is it? And one of the kids said, oh, it's deep. It's pretty deep. And I thought to myself, well, yeah, sure. I look at you and it's deep enough for you, but I weigh about 3 of you. So is it going to be, deep enough for me? The other question I asked is, are there any rocks at the bottom? I hate rocks on the bottom. My feet are very tender and I don't like walking on rocks. And I definitely don't want to plunge myself into a river at a fast speed and just bang into those rocks. So I said, yeah, are there rocks at the bottom? And again, the kid said, well, yeah, but remember, it's pretty deep. You're probably not even going to touch the rocks. So I'm thinking this through, processing this, because I could just imagine, swinging out there, letting go, falling down into the water, going deep down in and just banging my legs, maybe even breaking a leg or hurting my feet on those rocks. And I'm thinking, you're a skinny kid, you're kind of a lightweight, I'm a lot heavier. This could be a problem for me. And I'm really having a trust issue with these kids. Can I trust what they're saying, or are they just messing around with the old man, wanting to see him do something goofy on the rope? But I wanted our team to win the competition. So, all right, I'm going to do it. So I grabbed a hold of the rope. I swung out over the river. I let go, splashing down into the water. And I did go down pretty deep. And I just gently touched the rocks below. Yeah, there were rocks there. Came back up to the surface and swam back to the shore. And yeah, mission accomplished. This swing ordeal, this rope swing ordeal, got me thinking about trust. I don't know about you, but it can be hard to trust people. I'm having a very hard time right now trusting our government. Maybe you are too. I'm having a hard time trusting what the media says about everything. And I must admit, I was having a hard time trusting those kids at the watering hole. Were they being honest with me? Maybe you've found it difficult to trust certain kinds of people. And it makes sense. I mean, I think it's probably safe to say it's hard to trust others because, especially we Christians, we know that everyone has a proclivity to not always do the right thing, not always be honest. We're fallen creatures, right? So it leaves us with, what about God? Can we trust him? Now, you may be thinking, well, of course we can trust God. I mean, we're told that we can trust God, and this is true. But what I'd like to do is drill down a little bit deeper and look at the question, why should we trust God? And what I'd like to do is just offer some reasons as to why I just am convinced, and I think it should help you, that we can trust God. Why? Psalm 40 verse 4 says, "Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust, who does not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after a lie." We're told to trust God. In some situations, it's a whole lot easier said than to be done, right? Consider, though, why it is a much better proposition to trust the Lord over trusting others, or certainly trusting even yourself. So here are 4 reasons that I want to offer as to why you should trust the Lord. Number 1, because he knows better than we do. Straight up, right? God knows everything that we're going through. He knows everything that you're going through at this very moment, everything that you have gone through in the past, everything that you will go through in the future. He knows the best way to handle every situation so that the best possible outcome is what happens for us. And we need to trust him on that. Even when we say, I don't think that was the best possible outcome. Well, from our perspective, maybe it wasn't, but from God's, it is. And we need to follow his path. We need to trust that he knows best, because he does. James 1:6 says, "But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea blown and tossed by the wind." We have to believe that when we ask, that God is going to give us exactly what we need. Well, he knows better than we do. That's one. Second one is, all things are possible with God. He knows the desires of your heart. And if you trust him, he knows what is best for you and for your life. If you feel like your goals are hard to achieve, or maybe they even feel like they're impossible, think again. God can make it happen. Nothing is impossible with God. He has your back, and he will get you through anything. He will provide for you what is truly needed, even if it's not what you thought you needed, right? We all been there. We need to trust him because of that. Jesus says, if you can, know everything is possible for one who believes. Mark 9, verse 23. Well, here's a third reason why we need to trust God. He's worthy of our trust. He's the only one that's worthy of our trust, really. Having faith is having trust. You have to trust, though, with your entire being, that God has your back, that he will help you, that he will take care of you. He knows what's best, but to truly embrace what he has planned for you, you have to fully trust. You got to be all in. Our trust is not foolish for our God, because our God is faithful and good. Dig into Scripture. Acquaint yourself with the promises of God, with his enduring faithfulness to Abraham, to the Israelites, and to all, including us, who call upon his name. Get to know the character of God, and your joy and your willingness to trust in him will abound. It will make sense to trust in him when you know his word, when you see who he is and what he has done. That's what Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6 says. You probably know this. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. One more, a fourth reason why we should trust God. He knows what he's doing, right? He knows exactly what he wants for your life. He has a purpose for you, and he has everything planned out. He knew who you were going to marry. He knew how many kids you would have. He knew about the jobs that you would work in, every other detail of your life, both the big ones and the small ones. He knows what you're going to do tomorrow, next month, and in the years down the road. So don't doubt his plan, because he knows everything, and he has a perfect plan for you. So, 4 things as to why you should trust him. Number 1, he knows better than we do. Number 2, all things are possible with God. Number 3, he's worthy of our trust. And finally, number 4, he knows what he is doing. A couple days after that rope swing, there was a group of us from our family that went back to the old watering hole to the rope swing again. And we had some fun. This time it was my son-in-law, John. He got there on the swing, and man, he made it look so easy. He's a young whippersnapper. And then my granddaughter, Isley, she's just 7 years old. And she swung out on that rope several times, fell down into the water multiple times. She did have to trust Gramps and her dad to pull her out when she got in the water. There was a little bit of a current, but we took care of her. Even my wife, Julia, swung out once, splashed in the water. She did it. I also took several turns myself. Now, for those of you who are watching the video version here, I have a little clip of one of my swings. So let me show that to you. Hang on just a second here. All right. This is a clip of me swinging out on the rope swing. Here we go. Okay, there it is. That's it. Me going out on the rope swing. Had a lot of fun there. I trusted that rope the second time around. And I knew it would hold me. And I knew that I would plunge down into the water, but I wouldn't go so far that I would crash into the rocks below. So I had a good time. I have walked with the Lord for many years. And those of you who are watching this, probably many of you have as well. And I will say, God has proven to me over and over and over again that he can be trusted. And I will tell you that what it really means to me, the proof in the pudding, is when I have had to trust him when going through some very difficult times in my life. And the Lord came through. And he will for you. It's in those times that he teaches us to trust him even more. My prayer is that you will trust in the Lord always, especially in those most difficult of times. Trust the Lord. God bless you. Thanks for watching and listening. Until next time.